Welcome to the Champion Blueprint Podcast, where mindset meets mission.
We're diving into what it really takes to lead, win, and live with purpose.
From NFL locker rooms to boardrooms, it's all about discipline, core values, and the habits that build champions.
Whether you're leveling up in business, life, or leadership, this is your playbook.
Champion your mindset.
Champion your purpose.
Let's go.
Champion Blueprint Podcast, we are back.
Yes, sir.
George Rogers here, the champ, Gary Brackett. How you feeling, my friend?
Man, I'm feeling great, man.
Yeah.
Feeling great. Got a good workout in today, so, ready to go.
That's good. That's good. Listen, for Gary and I, ladies and gentlemen, we listen to the people. We listen to the people out there. And our last episode, we talked a little bit about health, Gary. And it also is something like this episode today, we're going to get in. I really want to implement 3 systems to really get your health back on track. Yeah. We talked a little bit about last week on the mask and the burnout, especially for those who are dealing with success. Exactly. How you expose the burnout, but also take care of yourself from an energy standpoint. But we're going to dive into that. And it's really, shout out to the people that's messaged us. Keep the comments coming. Absolutely. PM us. We love that encouragement. We'll love to hear, what do you want to hear more of? Yeah. Those conversations. Gary and I like to tap into some of those things. And so episode here today, Gary, we're going to talk about the 3 systems to really get your health back on track. And there's 3 core systems that I believe that really kind of fundamentally, we talk about the domino effect. Everything's like a domino effect to me. And like if one thing is off, what happens next, right? Yeah. And so for me, I'm kicking off in May. And for those of you who want to go on the journey with me or join the journey or start the journey, it was in my mind, Gary, that I needed to, back in April, I realized I was on, 9 weeks straight. I went from February all the way 9 weeks straight of traveling. I was somewhere, right? Started California, went to Orlando. Yeah. And then I was in Vegas for 2 weeks, and I was in Nashville back to back, down to Boston. And then I was finding myself, I don't remember what else happened after that. I was like, I was in Ohio after that. Thanks for remembering. See, Gary,
I got you.
And then shout out, I was in Work Cuban, shout out there. Michelle Obama closed out the keynote there. Incredible opportunity. And I realized in the midst of all that, Gary, that I got in a bad habit. Like every time I travel, I want to taste the local food. I want the special drink, right? And it's like, if it's real good and I'm there for 2 or 3 days, I got to have it a little bit more. And I needed a reset in my life. And so starting May 1, I decided to do 21 days. Mm-hmm. And it's like you got to do 21 days, 22 days. It creates a habit, right? That's the mentality. But for me, I wanted to do 21 days where I start something, stop something, do more of another. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I want to encourage you, as you listen to this podcast today, we're going to be talking about the core system. We're going to talk physically. We're going to talk mentally. We're going to talk financially. Mm-hmm. Those to me, Gary, are 3 important areas of our life that we got to have health and stability in, because those things really dictate a lot of the stresses that most of our people that we're hearing from is like, George, I'm dealing with, financial, like mentally I'm fine, but financially, lacking or, the uncertainty of jobs and with all the layoffs and things of that nature, the instability that stress can have. And all of a sudden one of those pillars becomes mental issue, right? Where you're stressed and overwhelmed, and all of a sudden you're mentally stressed and overwhelmed. And next thing you know, your discipline from a physical standpoint starts lacking, right? Absolutely. You find yourself in that rut. And so we're going to open up again. Once again, shout out to everybody that's messages, Gary. But as you think about these things, Gary, and we're going to dive into them individually as well. But overall, just the importance of being healthy from a mental, physical, and emotional standpoint, and financial standpoint, right? All these leads, there's leads in the family. Yeah. How do you relate one? Because there's aspects of your life, and everybody sees Gary, the financially, Gary ain't got no worries. Yeah, right. But listen, just because you see one part of our life, like
our seasons,
seasons, you've only been exposed to seasons. You haven't read the full book.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to watch the movie.
Yeah, no doubt.
The story of our life. Perception sometimes can say, "Oh, Gary don't have it." In certain areas, whether it's, Gary got friends, he'll have to deal with mental things, but those things are the perception that people have versus our reality. How do you balance those 3 phases of your life?
Yeah. So, man, it's such great topics to really discuss, man, because for me, I always thought it was like means justify the ends. Yeah. And in your mind, I wanted to make a certain amount of money, have a certain many M's in a bank account, and I was willing to like lose sleep over it. I was willing to probably lose relationships over it, because this mentality that we were taught of just go hard, and it's exhausting. Yeah. And people have tapped out. People have unfortunately not been here anymore. Even we just discussed off camera a young lady losing her life because she's going hard and drinking energy drinks to sustain that. And like if you can't go hard off your natural ability, vitamins, take some supplements. But if you take energy drinks and this and that, bruh, something is wrong. Yeah, you're masking the problem. Yeah. So now it's just like in my life, I think it all starts with my vision of my life and what I want out of life. Yeah. And I love this quote, and it says, I seek my happiness by limiting my desires rather than satisfying them. And before, in the materialistic world, I wanted so much. The new house, the new car, another car, the boat, the this, the that. And when you're in that mode of fulfilling all these desires, it's never enough. Yeah. And it's not until you realize like you are enough right now. Yeah. And you probably have enough, right? A lot of people be grateful for where you are. And I think that gratefulness it starts with me not having to stress over, put myself in bad financial situations because I purchased something that I can't really afford, and it's going to make me uncomfortable in a few months if things don't go my way. Yeah. So I think it's beginning with the end in mind for me that really gets my health, my finances, and my, what's the third one?
Your mental.
Yeah, my mental and in the right place. And I think people around me now have seen a shift. Whereas before, like, we going out? All right, cool. We getting a section. We getting a bottle. We got this. We got this afterwards. Oh, we going out? All right, cool. I'll meet you at the bar. I'm going to get 1 or 2 drinks and I'm out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really controlling your desires and controlling like what really matters. Yeah. For me, this is the goal. I no longer want what it looks like. I want what it feels like.
I like that. I no longer want what it looks like. I want what it feels like. I think about that, Gary, from like even the high performers, and I look at you and respect you a lot because you're that guy, like the high performer, you're getting there. Like high performance in an unhealthy situation is not sustainable. We talked about sustainability of success in our last episode. And for me, realizing, and for me, it was all the way back in 2013 when I had my heart issues. Yeah. Where, it was a reminder of health is wealth, right? Not from a money, like wealth is not always financially. I've had money and I've lost it all. Yeah. And rebounded and trying to make more, right? What you cannot really get back is like losing the health. Right. And sometimes that's mental health, like losing your mental is so damaging, like it sets you back. The belief system. Yeah. You start doubting yourself. Is it me or is it those around me? And so being able to have that balance, it's important for you as a high performer, for that person is dealing with success, like to really find yourself in a good position. I'll frame it around this. You need to have certain people in your life. Yeah. Again, as we end the last episode, absolutely. Gary said it best. You got to have a brother. You got to have a family member. But you also, outside of your mentor, you got to have some people that can really check in with you and hold you accountable to these things, because it's really, for me, all these things are a mindset mentality. Mm-hmm. When I started this 21-day, start something, stop something, do more of another, it was a mentality. It's not that I cannot do it. It's not that I've never done it. It's having that stability and accountability around to say, hey, George, how's it going? Yeah, now that the 21 days, like May 21st comes around the corner, like who's going to check in on George May 22nd and say, George, are you still starting something? Like what's new? What's the new thing, right? Right. So having that stability, because there's something about taking care of your mental. There's something about it feels good. Yeah. Now physically doing the right thing, not just working out, right? It's also eating right. Yeah. And like I feel different when I do those things. And it's like, why you get so content in the things that offset those things, right? We easily distracted, easily influenced. Yeah. It's that I want to have it.
You know what another key factor is your sleep. Yeah. Is your recovery. Yep. Right? Because a lot of people think, oh yeah, I work out all the time. But you sleep from 12 to 5 and it's interrupted. And so I think having that as a basis, because we spend more time in our bed, I think, than anywhere else. Yeah. And how is your sleep?
And if you don't, you should be resting.
Yeah. No question. And I think those key factors, because when I wrestle, and for me personally, I was diagnosed with sleep apnea years ago. I had a CPAP machine, couldn't use it, couldn't tolerate it, so it was just untreated. So I know I snore, I get the, Amber kicking me, hey, like, right? So for years, So recently I just got a Sleep Inspire machine, which is like the little robot jerk in my chest. But man, you talking about like rest at night and like waking up like, is this what it feels like?
Yeah.
And so I feel like solving that sleep issue, if you're out there, I think is going to help you with that health. And then I think when you're more alert, you're more clear to make better decisions regarding your physical and your financial.
Yeah, three areas, Gary, that I realized, and I wrote these points down, is like leaders. For me, I treated my health like a reward instead of a requirement. Right? I treated my health like a reward instead of a requirement. Meaning this: when my phone battery gets low, I'm automatically plugging it in.
Oh yeah.
And matter of fact, if it gets below 60 and I'm in my car, I'm clicking it, right? But I don't treat my mental, I don't treat my physical, even financially, I don't treat myself in that way that says, hey, financially, if I'm here, we got to plug in. Like you got to stop the spin, right?
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, if you got to be able to plug in. We don't treat ourselves and take care of ourselves as nice sometimes as we do our technology. Yeah. Right. My car, I drive a Tesla. You got to plug it in every once in a while. Otherwise, I ain't gonna be able to go anywhere. And we got to be able to do that. And so for me, I struggle with that. The second thing I struggle is I struggle with the burnout aspect of it because it was like I still got energy to do it, and mentally I needed to. Like I knew that was the only option. I had to keep on striving for greatness. I had to keep on providing for the family. And so I treated burnout as if it was just a daily thing, right? And so tomorrow I'll be different. And so I had to realize that burnout, it doesn't really show up overnight.
Yeah.
It's not knocking at my door. It's not waiting for me when I put my slippers on in the morning. It's that silent connection that it creeps up silently moment after moment.
It's erosion over time. It just erodes.
And it literally it's a slow effect on you. And so I realized those two things happen, and there's a hidden cost to those things when you don't take care of them. It's like your patience is a little bit shorter, right? Your tolerance. We talked about those things. The domino effect, it starts trickling over how you think, what you're thinking, your decision making, who you're around, who you surround yourself with. You used to not hang around that person. All of a sudden, you hang around that person because they give you a different vibe or energy, and they're feeding something that you don't have. And so, reactive leadership versus intentional leadership, right? Reactive leadership for myself and others becomes reactive because of that burnout that slowly creeps, or I'm not taking care of myself, checking in with myself and plugging myself in. Let's tap into the first one real quick. And I want to go through these, and I don't want to move too fast, but I want to kind of go through these. Number one, the mental aspect of it, because mental clutter sometimes creates those inconsistencies. The importance of keeping your mental good. Yeah. Share with me.
Yeah, so I think what I've done, and you see it all the time. You come in like, damn, you got another project going on, right? So I'm constantly figuring out, all right, where can I declutter in my life, right? And it starts in my home, in my work area, on my computer, on my phone. Just where can I declutter? Because when I don't have all these balls in the air, I can think a lot more clear, right, on this one singular topic. And I think so many people, you look in their cars, it's a mess. You look in their rooms, it's a mess. Their drawers are a mess. So you talking about that reset in May. How about you reset and one, get rid of things that you no longer use?
That's good.
All right, get rid of things that you no longer use.
Gary said clean out your garage, ladies and gentlemen. It's springtime.
but here's the thing. So many of us are asking for a blessing. We want something to receive, right?
Yep.
The challenge is our hands are already full.
Yeah.
We don't have any room for it.
Yeah.
You don't have any room for a relationship because you're still dealing with these other toxic people that should be in your life.
Yeah.
You don't have any room to invest your money financially because you keep shopping.
Right.
So you know what I mean? So it's like start removing some of those things. So
and listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're not talking about perfection.
No.
Like the pursuit of I'm in the mindset of I want to pursue excellence. Perfection is not something. There's only one perfect man that ever walked the earth, right? So be it. But like, how do you pursue alignment?
Yeah.
Right. I'm not pursuing. We're not saying, hey, you have to have perfection. We're saying you got to find alignment when you're taking care of your mental. Right. Even in life, in the relationship, in your business and leadership, you got to find alignment in those things. And mental clarity is something that you don't want to mess with. Yeah. Because there is, a fatigue of that. Like stress management is huge. It's not. It's important. It's not an option. It's strategic.
Yeah.
Right. You got to have some stress. Like how you deal with that stress. How you deal with the problems that you're dealing with personally.
Yeah.
My mindset growing up used to be leave your baggage. Like, you come into my work, leave that stuff at the door. Don't bring your wife here. Don't bring your children. Don't bring all and then I realized that's not human.
Yeah.
Like, there's no work-life balance. There's not like a switch I can turn off and say, I ain't worried about my kids and my wife. Because when I'm working, I'm providing for my kids and my wife. And so it's like, how do you balance those things? And how do we provide clarity for our people as leaders to be able to make sure that our people understand the importance of their mental health and being able to say, listen, if this job is stressing you out today, if this project is overwhelming you, you need to go outside, right?
Yeah.
Where do you find peace? Go to your car, right? Whatever it is, put on some music, like change the atmosphere that you're in. And sometimes it's physically changing that atmosphere.
Or I think you said it last episode about leaders checking in with their people.
Yeah, check in.
Like, hey, I have noticed like this project, you haven't responded, you haven't anything.
Yep.
Is there anything that can help you with the project to gain more clarity?
Yep.
Do you need more help on this project? Do you need more hands on this project? Do you need more time? Right? What's going on outside of this project that could be holding you up?
Yeah.
And I think once you start solving for those things, you'll have a better, more engaged workforce, because now people are like, whew, I'm glad you asked me that. They probably have anxiety, right? Thinking what you're thinking.
Yeah.
So just cut the air. Like, yo, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
Let's have the conversation.
In a practical way, and before we move on to the next one, and I'll end it with this mentally, what I've done, and it's really helped me. And for some people, I initially started with like box breathing, where I would just do like 4 seconds, I'll breathe in, 4 seconds, breathe out, 4 seconds, relax, right? And then repeat. And so like being able to just like, when I found myself, especially in 2014 on, I was like, any type of movement in this area, if I had the heart situation, any type of populations, twitches, man, it could be here. And I felt like it was over here. Just the mental stress that was providing to me. Like being able to reset myself from the anxiety of what I was dealing with. And a lot of it was here versus the reality, right?
No question.
So for people who are dealing with like physical health that mentally start stressing you out, a routine that I did, as I find myself with a minimum of 15 minutes. He said, George, it's hard for me to get 15 minutes. Gary said it, and Gary says it all the time. You have time. You got to be able to make time.
Yeah.
It's not like George, I don't have time. You have time. You got to be able to prioritize the time that you have. How can you take 15 to 30 minutes and to be able to find yourself in reflection? Every day you should do these 3 things. Every day you should reflect, you should plan, and then you should find silence. If you're struggling with mental health, or you're struggling with something that anxiety and stress, you got to be able to find 15, 30 minutes. George, I can't find 15, 30 minutes. All right, find 3 minutes and give yourself a minute to reflect. Give yourself a minute to be able to write down a few things that you need to do the next day, or this is what I did today, or this is what I need to finish, plan. And then your last minute, you just need to sit in silence. And that's where people give up because we don't want to enjoy the peace because we're not used to it. We're used to chaos. If you're a high performer, you're used to everything moving fast. And sometimes that silence seems like more stress than anything. But it's in the peace and in the stillness where you can be able to find yourself. And that to me is the 3 steps. So if you're struggling mentally, again, find a minute. I'm going to start low.
Yeah.
3 minutes. 1 minute of reflection every day. 1 minute of planning. And 1 minute of just silence. Start your day that way. End your day in that same manner where, hey, I'm going to start my day reflecting. All right. Remind myself who I am. I need to plan my day. And this is what I need to do those things.
I don't know. One of those gurus or Buddha or somebody said, if you don't have 15 minutes a day, then you should do it for an hour. If you don't have 15 minutes, your life is so chaotic and so crazy that if you don't think you have 15 minutes, you need an hour to reset, to focus on these things because it matters that much. Because how it works in our body is that like we don't run our body runs us.
Yeah.
So eventually, if we don't listen to it,
it'll shut down.
Our body will say, all right, I ain't talking no more.
Yeah.
Like just like a relationship. If I stop communicating with you, if I stop giving you what you need, if I stop responding, like, all right.
Check out.
Right? And you don't want that. And for me, you talk about the mental, the clarity, the financial peace of mind. Like I routinely go to a doctor's appointment. Shout out to the NFL. They got these checkups. I went to the Cleveland Clinic. And for 2 days, I got every test done. EKG, MRI, CAT scan, this, that. And in your mind, you think like, "Oh, what's that twinge? Ooh, what's that?" Like, right? And so it shows you what's going on. So the peace of mind, knowing that like, yo, you're good. You can continue. I think so. So going to your all your appointments gives you that mental clarity, that physical clarity. And then, we're going to talk about the financials.
Yep. So to recap that, like, listen, if your mind is overwhelmed, your leadership will be too. If your mind is overwhelmed, the physical will be too, right? Mm-hmm. And so you got to get that. The first stable is like mentally getting yourself right. Mm-hmm. Number two, the physical system. Because energy is the leadership currency. Energy is your currency physically, and you cannot lead on low energy. Yeah. Right. It's just impossible. And you got to be able to, it's not even just having the energy, but it's also the recovery of that. LeBron James spends millions of dollars a year. Yeah. Yeah. And people say, how does he still be able to sustain? He went from averaging 28 points, 7 and 7, right? To this year, this past season, or this ongoing season, he put up 20. So his scoring's gone down. And as you talk about, listen, he the LeBron James of 15 years ago, yeah. But he still mentally has that. But one thing that he does so well is that he takes care of his physical. Like the recovery is such an important thing just in life. And a lot of times, and I'll be honest, I don't think about the recovery until, as you just said, the body said, hey, like this is your final warning, check engine light, check heart light, check mental light, it's clicking on. And if you don't take care of these things, if you don't get checked up, the shutdown happens. That physical aspect of it, talk a little bit, not necessarily just about the energy aspect, but the importance of recovery.
It's so critical that, again, rest with the same intensity that you work. Yeah. You go so hard and then you put off your physical health. And for me, even from an image standpoint, maybe now we're talking to people that aren't in those leadership roles that wants to get there. I think if you show up physically fit with energy, people just see you in a different light. If someone shows up, shoulders back, stomach sort of flat,
you got me fixing myself over here.
You know what I'm saying? But you just show them a different type of respect, than someone that comes up that's overweight. That's you know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. So I think that mentality for me is always look good, play good, feel like look good, feel good, play good. So I always want to look my best, and a part of looking good is recovering. Yeah. Is taking care of your physical body.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think about it even like not even just working out, but eating right. Yeah. Is important. Like what you're putting into your system is so important. In a lot of things, especially as a young age, you don't think of like now later Skittles, you just pop them. It's like, oh, this is going to give me energy. It's got a little sugar. But what's worse than eating those things is the feeling that it gives you after all that is done. Like that drop off is even worse than where you were when you first got there. And so like your energy has to be able to fuel you. And a lot of it is like, what are you putting in your mouth? Like, what are you putting in your body? And is it going to give you the energy that you need? So physically, and this is a discipline. Listen, George 101, accountability. Yeah. George doesn't always eat right. George likes a little salt. Yeah. George likes a little extra seasoning. George likes a little fried food every once in a while. But like, how do you stay disciplined in those areas? Because as I said, it's not just the physical working out, but it's also like, what are you putting into yourself? Yeah. It's how much TV are you watching?
Absolutely.
Right? It's those things that is the first thing you do when you wake up, grabbing your phone. Right. That physically, you don't realize how much that drains you. Yeah. To wake up and just grab your phone and look at an email or check your text messages or you're jumping on social media. What that physically does to you and how that, from an energy standpoint, like drains you. Right. If you're picking up your phone and the first thing you see is negative news, like it starts there. Right. Mm-hmm. So me waking up, not touching my phone right away is something that I had to become disciplined because I needed to take care of myself, not just mentally, but also the physical. As I said, the toll of having good news, bad news, like, and what that does to your mood. Do I feel like working out now? Yeah. Right. And so, the importance of that and 3 practical things that I think from a physical standpoint to be able to reset. Number one, for me, the first thing I needed to do is make sure when I wake up, I'm moving. Mm-hmm. Right. Even if it's short. Again, you got time. You got to prioritize this in your life. even if it's a 2-minute walk, even if you go outside and walk around in your yard, if you ain't got a yard, how do you go? Just do a couple of laps in your driveway. You ain't got a driveway, go up and down the stairs. You ain't got stairs. You on a ranch house. Like, don't make too many excuses. Like, get up and just move. Get up and do something, and make it happen. A lot of my friends, they're trying to encourage me to do the 75 hard. I don't know. You heard of that. It's like for me, like getting outside and getting some sun, unless it's a cloudy day like today, being able to get some sun is important. So being able to move it and do something is important. I love it. And prioritizing, as you said, your sleep is a huge thing. And then number 3, put down the bourbon, put down the tequila, like hydration is a huge thing. Just those basic discipline habits matters a lot.
Absolutely. I think you hit it right. Focusing on your sleep, focus on your recovery, and I think what they call those hidden calories of alcohol, and obviously in moderation everything is good, but does that align with the person you want to be? And also, are you also hydrating your body, the other times of the day, and make sure you got a good balance going on? And
because what you put in your system, how it messes your clarity of your mind.
Absolutely.
Right? Even like going on a little thing, like I'm not saying you shouldn't drink, like enjoy yourself. You worked hard. If you like that taste and flavor, do it. I don't mind a few myself every once in a while. But I recognize the difference between when George eats a certain way versus eating a healthy way. George having, a couple glasses of wine or a couple of old fashions of bourbon versus George not having any at all, and he's just drinking water and fresh juice, right? And so like that balance and clarity does something to you.
So what would you tell some friends? Because this is like great advice and it's very practical, right? But sometimes people are in a bad financial situation, so then they make it worse by probably drinking, by not working out, by not eating well, and it's this like slippery slope that they feel like they can't get off of, right? And what would you tell that person, or how do they start to begin to get where we're kind of discussing to get to some of these things?
I think for me, again, it goes back to me doing the reset, start, stop, and do more of. And if you start right, if you begin just in those 3 phases, wherever you are, just do 21 days, just commit to it and say, hey, listen, for me, I wanted to make sure I was starting to work out more. I got away from the physical. Like when I'm traveling and I see the hotel gym, I'm like, it doesn't really look like the gym. You start making those excuses, but literally you got to commit to yourself and be accountable to when you write down those 3 things. This is what I'm going to start this month or this week. This is where I'm going to stop. And this is what I need to do more of. I'm going to write these down and I'm going to hand it to somebody. Say, hold me accountable. I'm going to hand it to another person. Say, hold it accountable. I'm going to let my family know, hey, honey, no more pasta, right? These next 21 days, I need to eat right. Give me chicken, fish, give me some protein, and I need some greenery in my life. I need some fruits and vegetables in my life. And they got to respect that. And if not, then you got to be able to separate those things as well. Because as you said, it then bleeds over to number 3, and that's the financial. And the thing about the financial aspect for those who are struggling, like how do you have financial stability? And I've been there oftentimes in my life more than I want to admit it. It's like you start when one of those other dominoes collapses, the mental's not good. It's like, how do I make myself feel better? Right? Let me go buy some shoes. Let me go get me a nice dinner.
Now you're talking to me.
Let me go get some. I need a nice steak. I need a good meal that's going to be down in this situation, right? And we find ourselves, but the thing about financial stress, Gary, for me, again, financial stress, every time I dealt with financial stress, it was never loud. It wasn't a form of the mailbox, right? The bills that were coming in. That's all silent situations, right? The financial stress for a lot of people begins silent for many reasons. Number 1, man, I don't want Gary to know that I'm struggling financially because of the perception. I want him to see me as successful, right? And all my life, you look at my period of my life, most of the last 25 years, I've been traveling in some form, fashion. And so it's like, oh, George is on the road. He's making a lot of money. Some people know how much I get paid for one gig and they just assume every gig is $20,000. But George went over here. It was just an hour job and all they had was $2,500. It was a good friend. So I did, right? And so it's like, oh, all the money. But then they realize George ain't keeping all that money. George is there's a business, right? The business takes a cut. Maybe I get a percentage of that. And so you have these different things. And a lot of people wear this mask where, man, we're hustling. We're doing all these great things. We got people in the real estate. They're flipping houses. It's like, man, you don't realize the margins on those things.
They lost.
Sometimes you're losing money on some of these houses.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, man, they're flipping houses. And I got a friend that's in technology and he got 50,000 units going out of his door, but they don't realize that 50,000 units cost X and the margin is really 7%. And if 5 of those come back on a return, there's so you see success And people see that, and then they don't realize the financial aspects of your business. They don't realize the financial aspects of your life. We talked about the draft in the previous episode, and you get all these different things. All of a sudden, you're top, number one draft pick, and all of a sudden, you want to buy your mom a house. You want to buy your mom and dad a car, right? And then you got all those other people that's in that room with you that's asking, "Hey, hey, can I go out?" Now you're throwing a party, welcome. I'm now going to this city. I'm gonna throw give me a new house too. Now you got 3 mortgages, you got all these houses, and all of a sudden you realize you moved too fast. The story of Shaquille O'Neal, he got his money. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy a car. Oh, you want a car? I'm gonna buy a car." Yeah, and his financial advisor was like, "Oh, slow down, bro. What's going on?"
No question.
And we move so fast, and finances. Out of all of these areas, I feel like finance is the biggest stress for most people that we hide. You would think that it was mental, but the financial a lot of times leads to that mental stress.
No question.
Mental stress is what makes people give up because they don't feel like they can ever dig out of that hole.
Yeah.
And because always somebody's gonna be knocking, saying, "Gary, George, can you help me out?"
Absolutely.
Right. And so that's the importance of like having that stability from a financial standpoint. When you need to, and you feel unstable, you start to hesitate. You start to play small. You start to avoid your big decisions, right? Because you're like, how does this affect me? And then you're running, what do I need to do on the side to hustle to make more money? But for me, having that stability is important because I think financial stability breeds confidence. It brings a different swag, right? Doubt. It comes back like knowing that, hey, I'm covered.
Yeah.
And instead of hoping that it works out because I'm not covered, like, how you spend your time becomes a thing, right?
Yeah.
And you start avoiding those things. So financial clarity is important. But again, what do you need to stop in your finances? What do you need to start to help your finances? What do you need to do more of to make sure that your finances is stable? You can use those 3 principles in every phase. Mentally, what do you need to start, stop, do more of? Physically, what do you need to start, stop, right? And then just overall, what do you just need to do in your life to help bring that balance and clarity for you to have in your life?
Yeah. And I think this definitely deserves more time.
Yeah.
I'm definitely feeling another topic for the next episode. But I will say this. I've always been one to say it's a lot easier for me to make more money than to cut out things.
Yeah.
Because at some point you need a certain level of, food, nutrition, like it's going to cost what it costs, right? And sometimes people are cutting, like, I can't cut anymore. All right, so now we got to look at some personal development, some self-development, and where can we earn some more money at? Are we maximizing our potential to make that highest financial gain so that we can be able to afford those things? So for us as speakers, you work real hard, you hustle, you get a gig, 15, 20, like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier, but for you, it may be landscaping. It may be some other thing that you could do where you could bring in more finances. Even if it's Uber driving or whatever you got to do to get to that next level, right? That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And I think financially is one of those things where I personally would rather figure out ways to earn more than to cut everything out. And again, I think do less of, right? It might eat until whether you're a video game person or some of that leisure time that you have. Yeah, let's try to replace that with some opportunity for you to earn some extra additional income.
Yeah, I think it's important. You got to know your income. You got to know your expenses. You got to know your goals. Right. And if you're at the financial, for me, the first thing, if I'm ever in a financial situation, I'm looking at my subscriptions. Like this Hulu, Netflix, like what
Rocket Money, boy. I'm looking like, let's get out.
Know what's coming in, know what's going out. But also understand and respect your goals. Like, don't ever feel like you have to give up on the things that you dream of.
Yeah, I love that.
But you also have to separate your dreams from your destiny. Yeah. Like, I dream of having a crazy looking car. I want a Lambo, but is that part of my destiny? Yeah. Right. And so what I'm willing to sacrifice now will come to me later. And that's important to be able to have in your life and in all aspects. Gary, anything to recap for you or round it up?
No, I love it, man. I think, I don't know his name, but he said, everyone has 2 lives. The second one doesn't start till you realize you only had one. And I think health is something that we put on the back burner. Like, once I get all these things, then I'm going to get in shape and I'm going to get my health right. But you only got one life. Yeah. And the time is now for you to get your health in control, to like you said, start, stop,
do more
of. And it can start slow, right? Yeah. I mean, this isn't like a sprint. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
But in order to finish the race, you got to start.
Yep. So in reevaluating all these different things, mentally, physically, financially, think about where you're the strongest. Think about where you're the most inconsistent. Mm-hmm. Which systems are you neglecting? Is important. And remember this, is that you're not going to go through this week. You don't start today fixing everything.
Yep.
Fix one system. What's one system that I can address? And that's a reflection of also finding that time, as I said, to be able to reflect, to be able to plan, to be able to have some silence in your life so that you can realize, hey, what is something I need to start, stop, and do more of? And be able to find that balance in my life, because you got to be able to stack small wins to get out of the mental stress, to be able to get out of the physical toll that you're struggling with, to be able to get yourself financially stable. You got to be able to stack small wins. Don't try to get a big old home run. Shout out to the Chicago Cubs. With the Pacers not in the playoffs, but I got to get, I got to support my Cubs. It's a hard time. But listen, you don't get a home run. Sometimes just getting a single, getting on base does better
momentum
than anything. Just stack some wins up. That's how you really get transformation, and transformation really happens in your life. Once again, Gary, I appreciate you, my brother.
No doubt.
Thank you for listening, joining with us. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the network, and listen, keep the comments coming. If something's said today that's kind of triggers something in your mind and you want us to talk about it a little bit more, dig into it, we would love to do so. As Gary said, this could go on a little bit deeper. We can really break this down into 3 different segments and talk about what it looks like and how to prepare yourself, prepare meals. Meal prepping is a thing. How to eat healthy within a budget, right? A lot of people say eating healthy is expensive, and sometimes it is. There's ways that you be able to discipline yourself. There's opportunities out there that you can do to really get in those areas. But listen, we're here. We hope that you are finding yourself in a better state of mind, mentally, physically, financially. Something that we said or done today has helped you to improve those things, because we want you to champion your mindset so you can champion your purpose.
Let's go.
Champion the Blueprint, the podcast. George Rogers, Gary Brackett.
Hey.
Let's go.